Salute to the family. Right back at it. You hear me? Back at it. I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope everybody having a good day and have had a good day so far. You hear me? I'm feeling good. Vibrating, operating, radiating, emanating, and exuding the highest frequency and vibration of my current self. I was sitting here just listening to the frequencies, and all kind of things was running through my mind. It's amazing how, when you're growing, when you elevating, when you allow yourself to learn, and when you allow yourself to be taught, when you're open to be able to do that, as you get better and not bitter, it's amazing how things will come to us, insights will start popping up and revealing and showing us things. It's amazing what life will show you through your mind based on your experiences when the time is right. You hear me? I hope everybody's feeling good for no reason at all. And cause I said that because who cares about your words or what you have to say if you don't follow through? And that's important to me. That's always been important to me because I don't know when I realized it, but early on I realized that, or maybe I got it through experience. And I ain't even had no business saying, I don't know why, I don't know how I know. I do know how I know. I learned it from experience by paying attention through observation. But I learned to realize it starts to lose value to those that it once did because you don't follow through. So who cares if our words, who cares about our words if we don't follow through? I don't know who needed to hear that, but I love being able to remind myself of that because word is bond, mean everything that it's supposed to mean when it went to me, But we as people need to be more aware of that. We as parents need to be more aware of that. We as grandparents need to be more aware of that. We as aunts and uncles need to be more aware of that. We as friends need to be more aware of that. We as community need to be aware of that. And we as family need to be more aware of that. You hear me? Our words mean nothing. Or they won't mean what they once meant if we don't follow through. So when we put our voice on something, you gotta stand behind it, all 10 toes down. Don't tell. We can't tell people that we're gonna do something and we don't follow through with it. People start to lose, to lose all the value you hold. It'll be lost. We need to be reminded of that. Our words mean because our words mean everything to who our words mean everything to. You hear me? And the only way to make sure that stay like that, cause what's what's real stay kept. So our words mean everything to who our words mean everything to, because we follow through. You hear me? And sometimes that got me in trouble. Cause Sawu had anger issues growing up. You hear me? And that's okay. That's a part of growing up. We ain't supposed to be grown ass folks still having anger issues. You hear me? So I heard somebody caught that. Walk with me. But following through on my word got me in trouble sometimes. Cause when I was a young fool, you couldn't dare me to do nothing, and I ain't do it. Whether it was having full of heart or full of pride. You hear me? But it's a difference. But yeah, it got me in trouble a few times. and I made it through. Eventually, if I'm sitting here being able to share these stories, insights, jewels, and nuggets, and all sorts and forms of wisdom that I do, you hear me? But if you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But it's there for you, for those who have an ear to hear, you hear me? You know. But over time, I started to realize nobody cares how well you mean, you know, how much you care about them, how much you love them, you know, and all that other good stuff. If you don't do what you say you're gonna do, you hear me? If you don't do what you say you're gonna do, eventually it's gonna lose value, you know, and all the things that, you know, value holds, trust, you know, yeah, for the most part. Things that give us value, like integrity, you know, for the most part. When people lose faith in our word, they lose faith in all that, you know, confidence in you, belief in you. You hear me? Yeah. I think about things like that when I think about the things that I think about. You heard? But on another note, on some other things that I was thinking about, it's okay to let people know that you're growing. For whoever need to hear it, and somebody need to hear it. It's okay to let people know that you're changing. You hear me? It's okay to let people know that you're aware of who you used to be to them or for them, however it fit, you know? And you're aware of all that said about you, but you're no longer that person. It's okay to let people know that, for whoever need to hear it, you hear me? It's okay to let people know that. It's okay to let people know, I don't do that no more. Whatever it may be, that you no longer do. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, because you know what I'm talking to, you hear me? It's okay to say, I don't do that no more, you hear me? And if you can't sit, and if you're not strong enough to be around what people doing that you no longer do no more, you know, you got to be strong enough to move from around it, to get from around it, you hear me? For whoever I'm talking to and what I'm there to talk to, you hear me? You know, it's okay to let people know, man. It's okay to let people know. You had to change, you know, or you had to change some things, whatever the case may be. It's okay to let people know. You hear me? You know, I don't do that no more. You know, y'all know how many times, can y'all imagine how many times, especially when, you know, I've been in travel with some of y'all know, but then when I thought I was back, I had to get back on the road, you hear me, and do some more travel. So I just got back again. That's why I ain't touched base with the family before now, but, you know, in all the different places that we allow ourselves to see, and all the different people that we allow ourselves to meet, and all the different things that we allow ourselves to come into, good, bad, or indifferent. It's all part of the change, man. It's all part of what change is, because life is always changing. Things is always shifting. You know, movement is constantly going on, even when we can't see it. You know, and since I see everything different, since I see different, period, you know, I see everything different, people, places, and things. But it's okay to let people know that you expanding, you know, you becoming greater than you never been. You becoming better than you never been. Because how many of us truly willing to stay the same? I'll wait. How many of us truly willing to stay the same? You know? And the question that gave me more pleasure is, how many of us are no longer the same? How many of us are no longer the same as we once was? You hear me? How many of us no longer that person that people used to know? So when they see us today, they gotta say something different about us. You hear me? How many of us that person? You hear me? I know I ain't the only one. You hear me? It ain't gonna sound like that. You hear me? Each one teach one. You hear me? How many of us said we'll never change? How many of us made change that we said we'll never make? See how this works? It's okay. You hear me? Yeah. How many of us glad that we did make them changes? Whatever they was, regardless of what they took us through. You hear me? That's what it's about, and rightfully so. You know, I salute us who was able to do that. I salute us who continue to do that. You hear me? For real. And I salute us who make it a mind every day. We have a grand rising to be in mind. You don't listen, you're gonna miss it. To do that. Because you can't do that one day and then hope it carry you to the next. You gotta get up and do it every day. If out of all the things if I wrote out a menu, out of all the things that I could put on the menu, the number one ingredient is gonna be